What's that from?
That's
Simpsons.
no,
No?
no.
Simpsons.
I've got a hole in me pocket. I want me none. That's
Who's that from?
that's Ringo from the Yellow Submarine movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not actually Ringo. It's
That sounded like.
yeah.
It's Troy Baker.
They
Sounded like Wacko.
yeah. Troy Baker voiced all four of the Beatles in Yellow Submarine back in the day. That's just how versatile he is.
He's a talented guy.
Yeah.
It's true.
Uh,
Yeah. Hello and welcome to episode 895 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. I am your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Yellow.
How's it going there, sir?
Not bad. How's it going with you, Siege?
It's going great.
I hear a child approaching.
No, you don't. Oh.
There she is. Carry on.
his
Certainly not on my microphone.
no.
But on Greg's microphone, yes. Well, joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Why, that's me.
That is you. Hello, sir.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Oh, just ducky.
Ducky, eh?
Yup.
Nice.
I'm delighted to see that a month after the fact, Christmas is still going strong up in Canada.
Hey, listen.
Yes, it appears in that way.
Enough. We celebrate differently than you. That's okay. The whole world doesn't have to revolve around American ideals.
No. I've got a book I'm going to send you. It's called Dismantling Your Christmas Decorations for Dummies.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
we took ours down, I think, on January 2nd.
This is
Something like that.
this is fake. I'm leaving this up till next December.
Do it. Do
But
it.
then it'll block your case of Sega stuff.
Yeah, the lights are all broken in that anyway.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I need a better. It doesn't. The colors are all screwy on it now, so it doesn't
Really?
hold
Oh,
the
yeah.
color. It starts off the right color and then it'll fade to something.
What does it
different.
only show 64 at once?
It's pretty good.
Oh. Zing a zing zing.
Some of us back in the 90s realized the 64 was all you needed.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Wow. So
There
hey,
it is.
we're in 2024. We're
We
you
are.
know, it's
I
not
mean,
the
we
start
have
of-
been for like 20 days now.
I know.
No
it's like
going back.
We're really here. We're
We're committed to this one.
2024. Yeah. And we got the first of the platform's sort of directs, like their showcase presentation, so we know a little bit more about the Xbox's titles coming out. But how do you guys feel about the three major gaming platforms, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, going into 2024?
Do I keep hearing rumors about physical Xbox games being super cheap? Is that just
No.
a thing the internet made up?
And
Well, I think that was something. I guess Walmart stores are delisting Starfield, and they're supposed to destroy their
Oh.
copies of Starfield
Yeah.
apparently starting tomorrow.
Wait,
I don't know
what?
if that means all Xbox physical games are being phased out.
Why would they be delisting Starfield?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
they
but
they might just be
phasing
phasing out
down to 3 cents.
Xbox
Is it
games
like
at that.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's
Yeah.
sort of what I was wondering.
But apparently, I saw some people who had done like a search for Starfield physical copies in their local area, and none of the stores had them anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's
if
probably
that's
like college
deal.
application. I mean, if you're not good enough, you don't get in.
Oh. Ouch.
Starfield
Oh.
is pretty rough. So
Ouch.
I see.
just saying.
There it is.
No, it's just that's interesting to me that they seem to be delisting such a new game. And then there was another
came
story
out in
that
September.
came out. Yeah, well, that's pretty new.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I
Just 'cause
finished
you're
it
done with
already.
it, CJ. Doesn't mean the whole world's finished with it.
No,
And then
those
the other
old games
thing,
from 4 months ago.
right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I was reading some other story about how it's something like 3 out of every 4 games sold in the UK last year were digital or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the tipping point has been reached.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
think that's what we're seeing.
Well, and what did Best Buy got rid of movies and music, right? Already
Yep.
physical.
Yes, movies and music do not exist anymore.
No, like in-store sections selling physical media.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't bought a physical movie in a while, but
Well, that's because I don't know. I don't buy them either, but a friend of mine is still very much like physical media, and he hasn't played Alan Wake 2 yet because there's
because it's not available.
no way to buy it. And he constantly complains about the fact that the UHD prices. First of all, it's hard to find them in the first place, unless you shop online,
which you pretty much have to do.
The prices don't come down; they just don't come down.
Down.
Like they're all like Nintendo games now. They just stay at MSRP until you die. So yeah,
wow.
I don't know.
Seems
Physical
harsh.
media, man. It seems like we're finally getting to the point that it might be on the way out.
There was no physical version of Hi-Fi Rush, right? And
it's true.
And that won a Game of the Year award
from Phil.
From us.
That's what
yeah.
And then Hellblade 2, which was part of the developer direct that Xbox did this past week, is also digital only, not going to be physical. So yeah, I think we're getting to that point where
I think so.
We're going to see a lot more digital only games. I'm fine with it, obviously, because I've been digital only since 2010. So fine with that. But,
I am also fine with it.
I like
plus,
the
like Ubisoft said, I just have to get used to not owning the things I buy.
Well, basically, yeah. You're renting access to it for a period of years.
We're all living on borrowed time. Now we're just paying for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, let's talk about games. Why don't we just kick it off with the Xbox Developer Direct stuff, right? Did you guys watch this?
I watched it just before the show. I was sitting here like quarter two going, oh, right, that Direct happened this week. I should probably watch that.
I did not.
Phil,
come on, man.
Watch it.
Couldn't find 45 minutes.
The only
you got an
I'm not
Indiana
gonna waste
Jones
my time
game.
with that.
You couldn't find 10 minutes it would take to watch the Indiana Jones thing.
Oh, I watched the Indy trailer.
Oh, okay, never mind that.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched the trailer from the one
ahead.
thing that I was interested in.
I kind of skipped through a couple of them. Well, 3 of them.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Do we want to start just talking about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
I mean, we should start and finish with that.
Like a circle in and of itself.
Like a surgeon.
Yeah.
Hey.
First of all, it's a Machine Games game that is in first person, so I know for a fact it will make me nauseous.
Okay.
Yeah,
good. We're off to a
because
good start.
the Wolfenstein games that I have tried to play from them, they make me sick within 10
is that
minutes.
what they've previously done? I didn't know. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they've done all the modern Wolfenstein games.
I'm crossing my fingers and toes with this one that they will allow like a field of view adjustment to it, since it's not like technically, I don't know, a shooter. Is it going to be that big a deal? But if you can't, which in the Wolfenstein games they haven't had that, then I definitely won't be able to play without my motion sickness band. So
actually, so that's one of the things that I was curious about, because, and they did explain it in the video, because there's a lot of, obviously it's a first person game.
Yeah.
But then you would see Indy from third person a fair amount too, and they say that that's just an automatic thing. It's a traversal thing.
Yeah, like Metroid Prime.
But I wonder if they'll let you just play third person.
I
doubt it.
I doubt it, but
I highly doubt it.
Kind of wish they would, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. So yeah, just to explain, I get motion sickness from camera positioning, usually field of view related stuff in first person games. So if you can't change the field of view, that sort of means I'm out of luck. And that's the case in like Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and the God of War 2016, or is it 2018? and Valhalla and all Ragnarok and all that I can't play because they don't have an adjustment for that.
You know, it's interesting to me in this day and age where, especially AAA games, like almost normally before you see anything, you're sifting through accessibility menus, which is a good thing.
And God of War has those a lot of the
games
time,
have those.
But
So I'm surprised that they
unfortunately,
don't have something like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have something like that. God of War and something like Returnal, if you remember, like if the camera goes to first person and then starts shaking around, like I can't do that. And God of War has those accessibility settings for screen shake and motion blur.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that
FOV
doesn't
is not one of them.
That doesn't solve my issue. No, it is
Is
not.
that what would solve your issue? Is a field of view slider? Or
I don't know for sure if it would, but the fact that it's not there means I can't test it out.
Okay.
And it has helped in many games. And in fact, Sea of Thieves, if I turn it up, if I don't find the sweet spot of the FOV and go one way too far or the other way too low, I will get nauseous playing it.
Seasick?
No, I'm not seasick, just first person sickness.
Come on, I was trying to give you come on.
No, not going there with you.
Sorry. Anyway, that's fine. I'm not going on the high seas with you either.
But then when I'm playing VR, I have to wear a motion sickness band if there's movement. So that's I'm explaining it to the person in the chat who was like, how do I get motion sickness when I'm playing VR a whole lot? And that's how.
All right.
Band.
So back to Indiana Jones.
CJ just vomits a lot when he plays VR.
Right.
He loves that.
Just a bucket next.
He loves that mini golf game so much.
I do love that mini golf game. I played that mini golf game every weekend. I'll have you know.
He will wade through a puddle of his own sick just to putt a few balls.
No, but you know when you're getting VR
balls deep in vomit.
You know when you're
How
getting
deep can
VR
you go, huh?
You get the VR sweats. Do you know what that is? Do you ever get
is that like the meat sweats? Because I know what that is.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah,
I get both of those at once.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's too much motion or too much steak.
Yeah,
maybe a little of both.
Could be. Are we going to say
good night, everyone?
Who was going to say something? Someone was going to say
about Indiana Jones. Back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So do we know?
Troy Baker.
Are they using? Yeah. Is it Troy Baker?
Troy Baker.
Is Indy.
He sounds really good.
He does. He nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect.
No,
obviously, and it's never going
damn
to be.
Close.
But it was so close that I'm like, are they using AI then? Like, I was kind of convincing myself that it might be AI. Yeah, no, he sounds good. I'm so happy because, I mean, obviously, such an iconic character. They've got the look right, obviously, but if he didn't sound at least close to Harrison Ford, it would kill the suspension of disbelief so quickly.
It would.
So yeah, I'm really happy with how he sounds. So that's fantastic. I don't know, it looks awesome. I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
This is why I'm praying for the FOV slider.
Right.
Please. And not just in gameplay, it has to, cinematics have to not be all jumpy around either. But it didn't seem from the jumpy aroundy. Yeah. From the trailer, it seemed like it'd be fine. But
yeah. I mean, I'm a little worried about using the whip in first person. I'm curious how that's if it's gonna feel realistic, or if it's gonna feel just a bunch of different canned animations that you trigger. And even if that is the case, then that's not terrible. As long as it looks organic. Yeah,
and I think you can kind of look at a game like Metroid Prime, which mixed first person main gameplay with some sections that were not first person, and I think you have a sort of template there. And whether or not that's the way Machine Games is going, I guess we'll find out. And we'll find out soon, because the game apparently comes out in late 2024.
Yeah. No, it's on my list now, because no, I was just really happy with what I saw.
Yeah.
I feel like they've,
too.
I love the what they've shown of the villain that they've created. He's right at, he feels like he's right there with like Belloc,
Right.
which is perfect. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for it.
Mm-hmm.
Really happy.
Yes. Also, Hellblade 2 shown off here, and what I think the best piece of news from this is that it will be a similar length to the first game. So
I'm
it's
trying to
not
remember
going to
what
be.
the reaction was to the first game being relatively short. I'm happy about it, but I'm curious
I'm happy about it too.
what the reaction will be.
And it's going to be sold at an MSRP of $49.99, so not the like full cross-gen 59.69 price tag. So there you go. And it comes out on May 21st, so
I'm
it's
less.
out pretty soon.
I'm gonna play that, but I'm not totally jazzed about it. It's I like, as we've gotten closer to Hellblade 2, because Hellblade was so critically acclaimed for tackling a sort of a difficult subject, and obviously they're leaning really heavily into that. I mean, they led off that segment talking about how they're working with Professor What's His Name from Cambridge, and about
Professor what's his name?
and with people who actually have a lived psychosis and that sort of thing. So they're leaning heavy into the mental health side of it again. I couldn't tell you what happened in the first Hellblade. I played through it. I remember liking it. I don't remember feeling very profound. It's funny because like I was talking with a friend of mine about it. We were talking about Hellblade 2 coming out and just saying like I don't know, everyone really went crazy over the subject matter, and I don't remember it being much more than a really atmospheric action game. Like I would contend that Amicia is done way better. That's just
in a
my
Plague
opinion.
Tale.
In a Plague Tale, yeah, is her character is done way better than Senua, but not acted. I mean, from an acting perspective, the person acting and voicing Senua is great, but I don't know. It just, I couldn't tell you what happened in the first game. I know she hears lots of voices. That's about it.
Certainly. Yeah, I actually never played the first game, so
yeah,
maybe I should go back and play it before the sequel comes out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then,
I mean, anyway.
Then there's that thing where it's like they're talking about all of the enhancements and updates and quality of life things they've done to the combat, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to play the first one now. If you've improved things so much in the sequel,
I mean, the more cynical reviews of that back then were basically like, it's a walking simulator with puzzles and combat tacked on. I think that boils it down a little bit too. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit.
Okay to
I think
me.
it's a little bit harsh.
Yeah,
like I said, I remember enjoying it, but
yeah,
I don't know. I still am interested in playing it. I'm not like, oh my god, can't wait for Hellblade 2, but I will play it.
Right. And then we saw more of Avowed, which is Obsidian's fantasy RPG, which I actually thought looked really, really good. And as somebody who went back to the Outer Worlds in 2023 and played some of that after Starfield, I'm kind of interested in Avowed now. I don't think I would be.
I scrolled past it.
You scrolled past it. Yeah. Well, it looked fun, and it did look like they are sort of playing on a similar thing that Outer Worlds did, where you can approach conversations in various ways that will have some consequences later on, I suppose, or not. And that stuff sounds cool to me. So
I'm sure it'll be great. Obsidian's really good at what they do. So
they are very good at what they do.
They just don't make games that interest me. So, and now that I don't get paid to care about this stuff, I don't really care. So
okay,
but I'm glad you do. It balances it out.
Well, I'm excited about Avowed now, and Outer Worlds 2 should come out at some point from Obsidian as well. So excited about both of those things. Yeah. Let's see. They showed off a Mana game in the Visions of Mana from Square Enix.
Oh, right.
I can't believe
in
there have been
2024.
17 mana games.
So a lot of those didn't come out in the US though.
I know, but just in general, I mean that series is really hung on.
That is crazy. Yeah. And the father of the Mana series is doing some work in creating characters and creatures for the game. So
Well, he said
cool.
when he was speaking that he's designed every monster in the Mana games.
Every monster. Oh,
That's what he
okay.
said.
Oh, all right, all right.
So
He had a really cool leather jacket. Did you see that?
he
leather
did.
Jacket?
He looked like a character in a Final Fantasy game.
I know. I know.
He was very stylish.
Very
Needed
stylish.
a few more zippers, but other than that,
Yeah, definite zippers, but jacket clearly
was a
wasn't
nice
made
jacket.
by Tetsuya Nomura.
no, it would have weighed
Yeah.
50 more pounds. Yeah, I mean that looks nice. I've never gone too crazy over the Mana games, but they've always been solid, and
Yeah.
they've always been really pretty.
Yeah.
So and this looks to carry on that tradition. So that's cool, man.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played Trials of Mana, the remake of
Of the original,
the third game that came out that never came out in the US. Remember they did a
Seiken Densetsu 3.
Seiken Densetsu 3. Yes. They did
Oh.
a port of that, but then they changed it into 3D, if you'll remember.
I don't,
And
but I do now.
No.
And came out on the Nintendo Switch, and I purchased it and played a whole bunch of it. I need to go back and finish it, but I probably won't, but I did enjoy my time with it.
I have a ROM hack cartridge of Seiken Densetsu 3 for the Super Nintendo.
Seiken Densetsu. That's
Oh,
Seiken.
wow.
Whatever.
That's Seiken.
Wow.
You have let Phil say subsequent for 17 years and not said a word.
Now hold on a
I'm
second.
not
Here
allowed
we
to
go.
say
Here we
Seiken
go.
Densetsu
Now hold on a second.
twice.
There you go.
We'll just winked at the camera.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll let that go. Yeah. And then they showed off Ara History Untold, which I tuned out at because it's a civilization style.
I mean, it's so
it looks cool for what it is.
Civ. Is that what I gathered from that segment? That
Oxide Games, yeah, they've worked on
passionate.
They've worked on that style of game before, yeah. So
I want to sit here and say, yeah, it looks like Civ. I don't have a clue. Does it look like
I don't
Civ?
have a clue either.
I don't play those games, so
me neither.
Yeah, I don't know. So okay, so these are all. Well, I guess Mana's not Microsoft. Are the rest of them Microsoft first party? Senwa is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Are these? What do you? So after sitting through that, does Microsoft have like a big? This is going to be like the game this year.
It's so hard to tell now, right? Because at the beginning of
it
2023, we wouldn't have figured Baldur's Gate would be big.
That's
if you had
fair.
told me at the beginning of 2024 that Pal World would have blown up, I wouldn't have believed that for a second. But here we are, 4 million units sold.
But I guess what I'm saying is, sorry, and maybe this is an outdated way of thinking. I mean, it is me. That pretty much describes me. But, like they always had up until the last couple of installments. Well, I guess up until 343 took over, really. But they always had like Halo as the tentpole franchise that kind of was the center of their catalog.
Yeah,
that was kind of like anybody can get into this. Anybody, like even if you're not a big first-person shooter fan, it's Halo. Oh my god, you got to play it. It's Halo.
Yeah,
like, do they have that? I don't feel like they do.
They may not have it. Indiana Jones could be that.
Yes, you're right. It could be.
I don't think Hellblade 2 is that.
No.
I don't think the other
especially because people are going to be complaining that it's too short. They will. People, that, dude.
They definitely will.
They will.
You're right. Yeah, Indiana Jones could be that then.
Yeah, that was just the thing that, again, everything they showed looked good. Don't get me wrong. and some of it looked great. Indiana Jones looks fantastic. Senua, for everything that I've said, Hellblade 2 looks really good. And I mean, it's
does.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be super atmospheric, which is exactly what I like.
Yeah.
It all looks really good. But it's just like there's not, and maybe this isn't the thing that they need anymore. I don't know. But there's just not like that. Oh my God, this is the Microsoft franchise. Like it's, like it's a Halo year. Wow, it's going to be amazing. Like we're not there anymore, and I don't know that we need to be. But
not to point it out too, but we're not exactly spring chickens. We don't have our hands on the pulse of where
that's I know
what the
that's
kids
why
are playing these
saying
days,
that.
right? Like I don't have a good judge for that anymore.
Yeah.
I liked what we saw of Avowed, Hellblade 2, and Indiana Jones, but I couldn't tell you if those are going to be bigger than Five Nights at Freddy's 17 or whatever they're on now, right? Like
FNAF.
Yeah. But I did think that this Xbox presentation was exceedingly well done. I like the fact that they really put a focus on the developers and a
Yes.
wide
The ones who
array
still have
of
jobs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A wide array of people from these development studios too, like talking about the game and the design. Like I really love that sort of back and forth of okay, here's the character designer and the gameplay director and the animator talking. Like I like that.
When I saw that Todd Howard was the executive producer on Indiana Jones, as soon as they introduced him, I was like, "Oh God, are we going to be listening to Todd Howard for the next 10 minutes?" Like,
no.
So I was really happy to see that wasn't the case.
But they didn't do that with the Starfield Direct last summer either.
I don't remember the
Starfield
Starfield
introed it, and then people from Bethesda talked,
Okay.
and I thought that was great too.
Yeah.
I like this approach, and I hope they continue with it. Is what I'm trying to say.
So you're saying they shouldn't go to E3? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Foamstars. Who's excited about Foamstars?
What's a Foamstar?
Why aren't we talking about Foamstars? It's Square
Enix. Because two of us don't know what it is.
No, I know. It's fake Splatoon.
Fake Splatoon.
Oh, that's Foamstars. Okay.
Yeah.
With the sort of foam party.
So
aesthetic.
what's the new news? Is that they got a cease and desist from Nintendo, or
I think the new news is that they're using AI art, right?
Oh,
well,
God.
there is that. They apparently used AI art for one aspect of the game, like the music that plays, very similar to Splatoon. It's done by fake bands, apparently. And so those album covers were produced by using AI tools.
So there's an artist who didn't get paid. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna happen more and more.
I mean, Square Enix is a small indie studio, so I could see where they'd need to cut corners.
Agreed. So yeah, it comes out on February 6th, and it is going to be part of the PlayStation Plus Essential lineup for February. So if you have PlayStation Plus, then you'll get a copy of Foamstars to play on your PlayStation 5 computer.
I will boot that up once.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. It looks like Splatoon, but I have heard from people who've actually played it that said it's not. It looks that way, but it's not Splatoon.
I can't imagine it being. I mean, that would be crazy. Yeah, it was just a complete knockoff.
It looks that way, apparently.
Yeah,
but I'll take their word for it. I'll take their word for it. All right, so Harmonix. You know Harmonix? We all love Harmonix. They make great games like Amplitude and Frequency. And
aren't they just like
Rock Band,
third-party developers for like battle royale games now?
Well, now they are. That is true. But they have announced they are ending Rock Band DLC releases after 8 years.
I was going to say, that's amazing to me. I mean, good on them. Like every time
we can no longer support our business of just CJ buying our DLC.
CJ's just not buying enough anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
How many songs?
Almost 3,000 songs.
Holy crap.
They've released. Yeah.
So are all those going to be delisted then? Like if you haven't bought them, you're not going to be able to buy them? Or
no, they are not being delisted. It's just the weekly releases are ending I'm sure at some point in the future they will be delisted, just like that happened to the other game they did that I can't remember the name of right now. The mixing game.
Oh, the board game?
No, you know that they did a game very similar to that, but a video
Was this-
game version of
Was
that.
this the Hasbro one?
No, not Drop Mix.
Okay.
Drop Mix is a lot of fun, by the way.
Drop Mix is great, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Although I'm not sure if the
Although it
iPad
doesn't
app
always
is
work
still-
very well, but
I'm not sure. Does the app even work?
I don't
probably
know.
not.
I don't know.
The times I played it, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. I own the darn thing.
Hmm.
I should bust it out again and see if the app still works.
Did you figure out the other game you're thinking of? We're trying to buy time for you.
I know that you are, and I appreciate that. It's Fuser.
Fuser. I don't
Fuser.
remember that at
Fuser.
all.
Yeah, Fuser. It came out unfortunate release timing, I think the same day as the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles came out.
Oh,
Jesus.
So not a great launch window for that. And I think they delisted that earlier in 2020.
Was that more like their earlier? What was that earlier game where you were on a track?
Yeah, frequency or amplitude?
Frequency.
No,
Was it? Oh,
No.
wasn't more like them? Okay.
it was not. It was more like
Either
Drop
way,
in a lot of ways.
good on them for supporting that game for 8 years.
yeah,
Like,
really.
8
That's
years.
fantastic.
Yeah, 2 songs a week. For
You know
8
what
years.
game isn't going to get supported for 8 years?
What's that?
Gran Turismo Sport.
Oh,
Servers are turning off on January 31st. 7 years. It's been
Yeah.
7 years.
Now, how does that really? I mean, what do you do with the game?
Do you want to
then
sit?
after
Do you
that
want to
point?
listen to this? No, there's I think so. Gran Turismo Sport. One of the things that they were, because when that came out, the whole reason it was called Sport was their online racing mode is called Sport Mode. Basically, it's probably not exactly right, but that's what it was referring to. And the whole idea with Gran Turismo Sport was the reason it wasn't a numbered sequel was because the whole idea was that they were pushing online competition, and that's where like the current like championship series and stuff that they run, like it all grew out of that. But excuse me, one of the things that they did to support it was they started adding a lot of single player content. They just added a bunch of single player races with AI cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which was great. So I'm guessing all that stuff will still be there and will still work. Weirdly enough, and the whole reason I brought it up is because I've had it running almost nonstop on my PlayStation 5 for the past week and a half. Because I have a separate YouTube channel where I've been putting up replay videos of we've been running, as I mentioned on here before, a Gran Turismo racing series that grew out of our Discord during the pandemic in 2020 is when we started. And most of that was run on Gran Turismo Sport up until, because we stuck with Sport even after GT7 was released, because GT7 when it was released was in really rough shape. So we've run a lot of races. And part of that was obviously some people would create custom liveries, or if not, you would download custom liveries and run them for like a whole season, or a few a season. And so that stuff's not going to work. I'm guessing. I haven't looked it up, but like if I ever turn on Sport and I don't have an internet connection and I go to the replays, the replay files still work, but all the custom liveries won't load. Right? They're all downloaded at the moment of firing it up, I'm assuming. So I've been scrambling to get all these videos recorded just because it sounds silly, but I have so many happy memories tied up in the time spent racing in that game. I mean, I check when you go on the PlayStation 5, it pops up the number of hours you've been playing a game. And the last time I looked, it was like 909 on Sport. So I mean, I spent a lot of time in that game, and I'm really bummed that it's going to be coming to an. I don't play it anymore. Yeah. But I'm still just kind of like depressed that it's going to come to an end. And I'm just, like I said, scrambling to get all these replay files saved as videos and uploaded to YouTube just to have them. So, me and anyone else who's been in our league, if they're feeling nostalgic, can look back at them and sort of remember those events. So servers shutting down on games doesn't normally affect me because I don't really play service games. That's one of the reasons I stay away from them. One of the main reasons I stay away from them, outside of if they want a monthly fee or something, is the FOMO. I really don't like that. Right? It's like, oh, here's a season pass and you have 3 months to play it. It's like, well, then I'm not doing it because I'm just not. So this stuff doesn't necessarily affect me very often. But now here's a game where I've actually very invested in shutting down, and I'm just like, wow, I'm actually this is telling me that I'm right not to play a lot of service games, because this is affecting me sort of at a deep level, and it's not even a game I play anymore.
Wow.
So, I just like, if I was playing a bunch of games that would randomly shut down because they're not popular anymore, it's just like, oh man, this is an emotional roller coaster. So yeah, but anyway, 7 years. And I see why they're shutting it down, because they've got Gran Turismo 7. So why would they keep it running? But
did they ever fix all the online stuff?
But what would have fixed that problem? Well, more or less, what would have fixed that problem in general was not to be online all the time. But
well,
that's my opinion.
That's not very forward thinking, Greg.
I know. I keep forgetting that I don't own the games I own.
That's true.
Correct. You're only renting them.
Yeah.
It's true. All right. Well, we kind of began this segment with me talking about, like, how are we feeling about the 3 publishers?
Right. I
going into 2024, and we quickly forgot that question. But I'd like to circle back around to it, because now we have sort of Xbox filling in some details about their 2024. We're allegedly going to get a Nintendo Direct in February, because we always do, and maybe that'll color in a little more of Nintendo's first half, although we know quite a few of those things as well. And Sony,
1000 Year Door remake.
Yeah. But Sony, I think we don't know a whole lot about what their 2024 is going to be.
Well, they're going to ride the first part of the year with The Last of Us 2 remake, aren't they?
I don't know about ride the first part of the year, but they did release that. Yes.
Did that come out?
It came out last Friday.
How did I miss that?
Wait, it did?
Yeah,
right?
Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is out. It came out on
I
Friday.
had no clue it was happening, and then I happened to, I was when I turn on my TV, it puts up recommendations, and especially for YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, and I'm subscribed to EPN, Electric Playground, and that was the thumbnail, was his review of The Last of Us Part 2 remake, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it came out.
When did this happen?
Yeah, I in fact purchased the $10 upgrade.
Oh, did you?
Upgrade,
because it's just an upgrade, which is good. And I haven't played through. I'm most interested in playing through the lost levels, which there's 3 scenes that they have in Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and they show them off in unfinished form, and you can play through them with commentary, and Neil Druckmann does a little intro to each one, like why they dropped it from the final game. And I'm interested in that part.
So do they have commentary for the whole game this time?
I think they do. I think they
have to unlock it.
What?
I wonder if you have to unlock. See,
well, here's the thing. When you buy the upgrade, if you played through it on PS4, you can import your save.
Oh, right, of course.
And it unlocks all of the achievements. So hopefully that unlocked. I think it did unlock the director's commentary as well.
Oh,
okay.
So
because I'm not super interested in playing, like with the Last of Us remake, I didn't know I wanted to play it, right? Which we talked about when that came out, and it was you were like, well, the show's going to pay for this, so it's like, okay, I'll try this out, and then couldn't put it down. Absolutely loved it. Not surprised. I loved that game. It was like my favorite game that year, and it had been a long time since I'd played it, because it was a PS3 game, and I didn't play the PS4 remake because it was too early to play the PS4 remake. Yes. And that's how I feel about Last of Us Part 2.
It's too early.
Old enough for me, and I wasn't as crazy about Part 2 anyway. I liked it, but it wasn't Part 1. But playing through with the developer commentary on might be kind of cool.
That could be fun.
Might be a good reason to do it.
Well, and you got all of those graphical filters you can put on the gameplay as well. I don't know if you would do that, but
I have no
yeah,
idea.
I've
probably not.
never been into putting filters on.
I haven't
gameplay
been
like that.
either. Yeah, I haven't been
No.
either. They're neat to scroll through the list of them.
Oh
but
yeah,
that's
yeah. It's neat
about
to
it.
That's
look at,
the
but
extent of every one of them. That's what I do. Is like, oh, let's take a look
Yeah.
at these. That's cool. Next.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine like I want to look at this for the next 20 hours.
Speaking
Yeah.
of filters, Phil, are you going to see Godzilla? Godzilla, my God,
Wow.
Godzilla in black and white. You're gonna go see Godzilla in black and white?
Wait. What
Actually-
is Godzilla? Are you gonna
No,
check housing prices on?
I'm actually going to see Godzilla because the tickets were cheaper for that.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. You get the knockoff one.
The
It's
cheap knockoff. Yeah.
It's almost as good.
Yeah.
And you save like $5, so it's pretty
But are
good.
you going to see Godzilla in black and white?
I absolutely already do have my ticket to go
I
see
knew you
Godzilla
would.
-1 color. You bet I do.
As soon as I read that, I was like, Phil just bought it.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Very excited.
But there are also some new T-shirts that you can dress the characters up in if you want to. There's like
She's got a new hat.
a Mortal Kombat.
It's a new hat.
T-shirt for. I think Ellie wears that one, and so you can change Ellie and Abby's cosmetics, which
It's a
seems
new
fun.
hat.
And some of them are unlocked only through that no return mode, which is the roguelike mode
Oh.
now. Yeah,
remember
which
this.
I've heard is good, but I have not played any of it yet. So, yeah,
Hmm.
Well, all right.
yes,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, $10. I might consider playing it, but
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm, even my recent backlog has gotten kind of overwhelming with trying to get through Alan Wake. Haven't played Mario Wonder yet.
yeah.
Playing Prince of Persia now. I don't know, man. Do I want to throw Last of Us 2 in the pile at this point? Like,
Well, do you think we're going to hear about
still played Ragnarok?
Last of Us Part 3 this year?
You know what? I hope we hear about something different. I want Naughty Dog to do something else.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to. If they announce Last of Us Part 3, first of all, if they do, I hope to God they don't show us something that's 4 years from being done.
Well,
But-
you know that'll happen, right? That'll be the
that's
case.
terrible. But either way, I'll be excited for another Last of Us. Sure, I
Yeah.
love that world and that series, but I would much rather see them shift gears to something else at this point. Tell a different story.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go in a different direction. I'd like to see that from a lot of Sony studios. Like I do feel like we're getting sequels to things. I want to see new stuff though. I am excited about the Wolverine game
Absolutely,
from Insomniac.
Yeah. That
I'm
needs to come
excited
out
about
again
what-
for the new Spider-Man. Obviously,
Whatever Sucker Punch is doing, I'll be excited. Whether that's Ghost of Tsushima 2 or if
There's another one I
that's
haven't played yet.
something else. Ghost of Tsushima is great.
Mhm.
Such a good game.
Yeah, see, like they've got that and Ragnarok on the list too. It's like I just don't see putting a game that I played 3 years ago and didn't
Yeah.
love back on the list.
Yeah, I suppose so. You think we're really going to get Switch 2 this year?
It'll actually arrive this year.
Yeah.
I mean, how old's the Switch now?
It came out in 2017, so 7 years.
See, again, as
Seems
an
like a
old
very long
timer, to me
cycle.
that seems like a long time.
It
But
seems like forever, right?
but everything's different now. So
I know.
Everything's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean 7 years you go back to like the 16-bit or 8-bit days and that's like 3 different generations.
that's a little much. But yeah,
It's close
it
to
used to
that.
be like 5 years was kind of the cycle, right? It was every
Yeah.
5 years.
That was the top end of the cycle, yeah. And now
Yeah.
we're going on 7 years of Switch. So yeah, I hope we see it this year. That's all I'm saying. Whether or not it's
I
released
think
this
we'll
year,
see it announced this year. I think we'll know what it is this year. I don't even if it doesn't come out.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, so let's talk about what we've been playing. I will kick us off, and I'll talk a little bit about Sea of Thieves here because Season 11 of Sea of Thieves is coming this Tuesday.
They should shut those
And
servers down.
I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Put them towards Gran Turismo.
That's right. See?
Yeah.
They are completely redoing how you sail out on voyages in Sea of Thieves. So before you
No
had to
longer with a
buy,
boat.
you had to buy voyages from trading companies and then plunk them down on your voyage table and vote on them. Now
Greg really liked that
I
one
don't know
for
why
some
that
reason.
tickled me so much, but it did.
the table
Not a
itself
boat.
is the place where you decide what you're going to do next. And they have made it so that when you put down a voyage, you don't have to sail to your destination. You can just say, I want to dive to my destination, and your
That's
ship will
kinda-
dive under the waves and then
Oh, so
emerge
it's a ghost ship.
right next to the area you're supposed to be at. So
I
you
don't
have
know.
to sail
I
to.
thought a big
Yeah.
part of Sea of Thieves was like the journey to the different islands. Like
I don't
It
know
is.
more.
What happens.
It is. I think this change is more to get the start of a session going faster, so you don't spend a lot of time sailing across the whole map.
Okay.
Because the tall tales, which is kind of the narrative portion of Sea of Thieves, that you can do largely single player or solo if you want. A lot of those start in specific locations on the map, so depending on where you spawned, it may take you a long time to get there.
Okay.
Versus now, you'll be able to pop right in,
See, I like.
which is good.
I mean, not that I've played a ton of Sea of Thieves. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
the few times that I have played, like being out on the ocean was the
That
fun
was the
part.
fun of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
then
then you go, hey, oh my god, there's a ghost ship that just rose up beside us, or the Kraken is attacking, or there's a shark, or like that was the whole point.
It will still have that, because while you can pop up at the island you're supposed to go to, you can't actually cash anything in by diving and appearing at an outpost. You still have to sail it back to an outpost.
Okay.
Yeah. Which actually makes it good for people who are attacking
that
other
makes sense.
boats, because then you're more likely to encounter a boat that actually has something on it versus
Yeah.
sailing to.
And I guess you don't
something.
have to worry so much about your boat being like almost destroyed by the time you get to the island you're going to.
That is true as
You
well.
still have to get
Yeah.
back with the cargo. Okay.
And you can also select like world events you want to do. Let's say you want to do a Skull Fort, or you want to do an Ashen Lord in the
doesn't?
game. Who doesn't? You can select those from the voyage table and go directly to a server that has those live in the game.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting change. I think a positive change overall. Maybe it's the precursor to the game coming out on PlayStation 5. I don't know. They've added a whole bunch of more tutorial focused features to the new season as well. So it kind of feels like they're gearing up for something. Maybe those rumors aren't too out of whack, but I guess we'll find out. But very excited about it. And before you could progress through, you gain reputation in the different trading companies in Sea of Thieves. So they had those capped at level 75 for a long time. It started out capped at level 50, and they
Level
raised the
75
cap
or
to
bust?
75. Yes.
Yeah.
And now they're raising that to 100. And after you get to level 100, you can prestige back to level 1 in all the trading companies. And you can prestige up to 5 times. So now instead of capping it at 75, you can basically go to level 500. That's the new cap. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I love that game. I know you guys don't.
Is that right?
I know. Shocking. Shocking
I don't know.
news.
I thought you'd abandoned it from what I heard.
Yeah.
I did not abandon it. I played.
It was like an all hands meeting at Rare about it.
Today I almost played all day.
You guys saw what he did to Rockstar. We got to keep him invested.
That's right.
Not Rockstar,
right,
Rock
and then-
Band. That's the one.
Rock Band.
We got there.
Yep.
Eventually.
Yeah.
We should talk about Prince of Persia, because we've all been playing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is Ubisoft's latest Prince of Persia game. It's sort of this time it's a Metroidvania style, or explore 'em up style title.
I want to say that I couldn't believe that last week's title was Explore 'em Up when Kamehameha double jump was sitting
Yeah.
right there.
It was
Right there.
sitting right there. Yeah.
CJ really likes the explore maps.
I do.
Yeah, he
I'm a
does,
fan
apparently.
now.
I'm glad that I could help you with that.
Thank you.
I hope
very
we
much.
see more.
Yeah, I have played a little bit of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I think out of all of us, Phil has probably played the most of it.
Indubitably.
Yeah. One thing I was very pleased with is we were talking about accessibility settings before, but
Yeah.
the difficulty and accessibility settings in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown are fantastic. You can really go in and dial in the amount of difficulty you want with the game, even up to the point where you can take away any of the really hard platforming in the game. I don't know if you saw that
Oh, is that right?
option as well. Yeah, you can skip platforming segments, which I thought was interesting.
That seems weird. I mean, not to poo-poo accessibility, but
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of platforming in this game. I mean, that's kind of the point.
Yeah,
Is
but
it-
it makes it more accessible to somebody who doesn't want to do that.
I mean, I'm not to me it feels like, I'd play more Madden if there was an option to take away all the football.
I don't think that's the point at all, but
I just
I mean,
maybe I
people
just
want
don't
to
understand what
experience the game who might not have the
ability
ability to do.
away.
Well, I mean, aren't there? So I guess the question that I have, because I haven't
Uh-huh.
played as much as you,
Okay.
but from even seeing like trailers and stuff like that, it feels like there are probably sections, and I've already encountered at least one of them that wasn't optional.
Yeah.
Where you really have to. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's a very specific sequence of moves that have to be done with perfect timing,
Right.
because there's a bunch of spikes everywhere and there's a bunch of moving platform. It's not that you can stop and think about your next move. You've got to kind of, and what I've experienced so far has been very light.
Right.
But does it get worse later in the game?
There are definitely some tricky
platforming. And from reading
bits.
some reviews, it sounds like that's the case, and it
there are
sounds like they're
definitely
not
tricky
necessarily
platforming
optional.
bits.
Right? Like
Yes.
I'm thinking of thinking back to Metroid Dread. They had those collectibles, I think they were, where you'd have to navigate a very tricky section of the game within a very specific amount of time. So you had to use all the tricks to get there, which I think they were largely optional, which is probably the only thing I did like about Dread. But it seems like in Prince of Persia that's not going to be the case. So are these settings there to help people not have to deal with that? And I don't even mean people like me who are just old and curmudgeonly and don't want to do it.
Right.
But I mean, that's a whole other level from the platform. Like,
oh yeah.
The platforming in the game otherwise is, I think, very forgiving, and it's great. Like when you get onto one of the poles that's sticking out from the wall or anything, you've got lots of time to make your decisions, do what you want to do, where you're going to go, and it's very obvious. Like they're showing you an arrow when you grab onto the rings on the walls. Like you're not worried about him losing stamina and falling or timing anything. Like it's very forgiving.
What's confusing me about it, and by no means am I saying they shouldn't have this feature.
I know you're not. I'm giving you shit, but
it's a bad feature. It's fine. I think, whatever. Who cares? It's a game. Play it. Have fun with it. But I guess what's confusing me about it is like when you have those type of features turned on, because like I was playing it earlier today, and I was in a chamber that did have a relatively complex platforming bit where you kind of started at the bottom and you had to work your way to the top, and it was a lot of jumping and air dashing through a bunch of precarious spikes, and there's like a river of poison kind of rising up, so you have a time where they force you to keep moving. So like if you have this turned on,
what happens?
Yeah, does it just like when you enter that room, does it just like blink you up to the top? Does it maybe eliminate some of the buzzsaws? Does it eliminate the rising poison?
I think it does warp you to the end of that.
Okay, so
really?
it just blinks you up to the top.
That's my understanding. I may be wrong.
Okay.
I may be wrong. I did turn on the accessibility feature that shows blocked paths with an icon on the map. Like you can have it add more icons to the map. Like
Oh,
on
I
any of
thought
these
I thought it already
applications.
did that because I didn't turn
No.
anything like that on, but it is showing me. It was showing me locked. Oh no, it was because there were arches that you couldn't access, and then I got an item, and suddenly they were accessible. That's when you find the
Right.
forge for the first time. I don't know if you've gotten there yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's the thing I was thinking of.
Okay. No, this is different. Where it'll actually like put a red X on the sections where you can't go yet.
Okay,
Which I thought was interesting.
Hmm.
And making this genre more accessible to people. I think that's good.
yeah,
More people exploring is good.
That's right.
yeah, for sure.
We were talking kind of in our Slack channel about comparisons to Hades and how the story plays out. It's
It
very
does.
it feels
The
inspired by Hades.
characters and their dialogue and everything, really you can kind of tell that the team had a good long look at Hades and said we should maybe kind of aim for something like this.
Well, Hades is a good game. So why not? Why not?
You ain't wrong.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely
like
has
that.
that. So yeah, I was, you know what it was? I was comparing trophies earlier just to kind of get a vague sense
Mhm.
of where you guys were versus where I was.
Yeah.
And it definitely does seem like I'm a fair bit ahead of y'all's.
Yes.
So according to my PlayStation, I've put about 5 hours into the game so far.
Okay. And did it give you a percentage?
How
far you are through?
It probably did, but I did not notice or pay attention.
Okay.
I
think
saw
it's
some
based
percent.
I think it's
What's that?
based on percent of certain trophies unlocked. It'll
Oh,
show
okay.
Oh,
you.
it's not based on like a map percentage.
No, not the. I mean, maybe in game, yes, but I'm
Mhm.
talking about within the PlayStation 5 interface, right?
Okay.
Like the game hub area.
Have you lads? And I guess spoilers. We're going to be spoilering bits here. If you
Maybe,
are
but I probably
concerned.
haven't gotten to it. Whatever you're going to
Well,
mention.
I'm just wondering if you
My-
lads have gotten any power ups or anything, because I don't believe you guys have fought the first like actual boss.
I've gotten the trinkets, right, that you assign to your necklace. So
Not those.
not those.
I mean, like
Different?
actual like character upgrades, like double jump type.
No,
type
I
things.
haven't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've gotten. I think I have 3 different whatever those charge abilities are called. When you
Mhm.
hold L2 and hit a button.
Okay.
I've got 3 of those.
Square.
Okay.
Well, not just square. See, there you go. You haven't gotten as many as I have then.
Oh, I only have 1, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. Spoiler.
Okay.
It's not just square. My PlayStation's telling me I've played for 2 hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah. So Phil, where I am is I got to the forge.
Okay.
The last thing I did was I talked to the goddess at the forge.
Right.
So and then I saved it, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
and that's in kind of like there's the big kind of
the hub.
Yeah, kind of the big centralized chamber.
Yeah,
because there's a woman who runs a shop there.
I'm pretty sure that's where I am too.
And then you get the forge goddess who upgrades your weapons and things like that.
Right. So I have a question, Phil, and I went back and listened to the show last week. I know CJ played the demo. Did you play the demo?
Just for like an amount of time where I might as well just say no, I didn't. I popped it in, played it for maybe 15 minutes, enough to kind of go like, yeah, I like this game's controls. It it seems like it's going to be good. Now I'm checking out
towards the end of the demo then at that point, because it's not terribly long. It
Really?
does kind of pull some sections out of the beginning of the game and link them together when they're not linked together in the final game.
I guess the reason I'm asking is because I went back and listened to the show last week, and I didn't try the demo.
Right.
But I knew CJ did, and he was talking about how it was sort of a cross section of various places that you can explore. I'm assuming various abilities that you don't have when you start the game.
Correct. It's very much a Crackdown style demo where they give you things that you wouldn't have gotten at that point.
Okay.
Right. And so I was really struck by the fact, because I didn't play that. I feel this game doesn't make an amazing first impression. It's okay.
Really?
I don't think the opening,
Oh.
like I
thought it made a
was
good
not
first impression.
taken with it at all.
Really?
I'm really getting into it now.
Okay.
But like that whole opening battle, I didn't think was very well done. Like that whole opening battle stage. The first boss I really didn't enjoy at all. The boss at the end of that. But I'm not, and the thing that I'm not crazy about still, and this is me, I guess the last Metroidvania game that I was really super into was Guacamelee. It's like the first Guacamelee. So I haven't kept up with these. Like I haven't played, Phil, you could probably rattle off like 5 or 6 different names. I haven't played Hades as an example.
Okay.
You've never played Hades?
No.
Well, Hades is not.
It's not
Hades.
No.
It's not an explore 'em up. That's a roguelite.
No, I haven't played a lot of those either.
Oh.
There's another one too. The one that
That's your other problem.
has the Castlevania DLC that came out
Dead
recently.
Cells.
Oh, Dead Cells. I haven't played Dead Cells.
Well, that's also
Again,
that's
roguelike.
that's rogue.
But I guess what I'm getting at is and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're side-scrolling platformers still, right?
Yeah.
Those games.
Yeah.
And is the combat similar to what's in this? Like, is it a little more intricate than just running and swinging a sword or anything like that?
I mean,
like,
this is more. This is more intricate than that.
okay.
See, I think the problem is you are conflating two types of games that look similar on the surface, but mechanically.
Well,
are
no, the
very
reason I'm doing that is because people are comparing them. Because I don't have any frame of reference.
Because
Sure.
that's wrong. Hold on a second.
go with
Someone's tapping on my desk and really moving my mic around.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Anyway.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So for me, I'm really getting into it now. But like that whole opening scene, and in the castle as well, like it just did very little for me.
Really?
I ended up turning the combat down, the combat difficulty down.
Plus also I would turn up the parry window if you haven't already. Make it a longer window for you to actually press the button and parry correctly.
I think when you turn it down to easy, it does that, doesn't it?
I might, but you might want to check and go into customize and check that it did it.
Yeah,
I'm
I
back.
guess so. The reason
back.
I'm bringing it up, and it was one of the things that I kind of didn't dig about Metroid Dread, is the combat. I'm not crazy about the combat in this. It's not
Really.
I get why it is the way it is, because we have a whole generation of people who are all about Souls games and all about parry timing and juggling and all that stuff.
Which you
And
can
that's
pretty
great.
much get rid of parry timing more or
Right.
less in
That's fine. But I'm just
accessibility.
saying, like it's something that I don't know. I'm not enamored with it. At
I
all.
mean,
The platforming is fantastic.
yeah.
So, like I said, going back and listening to the show last week, and your guys' sort of reaction to that demo makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because as I got, once I sort of worked past the first half hour or so, I started to get more into it. But the first half hour or so, if I hadn't heard that this game is like great, I probably would have put it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
It just not that it's bad, it just wasn't resonating with me at all. Because
Oh,
all it
wow.
was, it's Prince of Persia. And like for the first half hour, you're running from left to right. You're not doing anything. And you're fighting. And it's like, well, this isn't what I was.
Well, there are a lot of set pieces happening around you too.
But that was the other thing. Like the set for that opening battle, the set pieces weren't exciting. If you go back and really look at them, nothing's happening. That's kind of what I was getting at. Is I feel like the atmosphere wasn't right, the visuals I wasn't crazy about, and the actual gameplay was just like, well, I'm running left to right. Like this is not what I'm looking for at all.
Okay.
Once I got through the castle and got into the proper game and started,
which is where I am now,
having to start searching around, and I have a map and starting to get items and get different abilities and things like that. It's like, okay, this is what I was expecting it to be. So I guess what I'm saying is it was really smart of them that they did a cross section for the demo, because if the demo was like, here's the first 30 minutes, do not in
It
the
might be a little
least
slow.
show you
Yeah.
what this game is at all.
That's
It
true.
opens up pretty quickly, though.
It does open up quickly, but I
That's
think
the
I
thing,
I
yeah.
see where you're coming from, Greg, on that. And I think
Yeah.
the way that the demo was formulated, where the demo leads up, it doesn't have any of the boss fights. Basically, like begins after the point where after the castle, where you are in Mount Calf, and that's
Yeah,
where it
Mount
starts.
Calf is where the game proper really starts. And like
Yeah,
I said,
and then
once
it
you
takes-
get there, then it's what I was expecting it to be and what I was hoping it would be. But
Yeah.
before that, I was just like, this is not at all what I want to play.
I
mean,
get that. I get that.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, I mean,
But-
it's like a Metroid style game where as you progress, you unlock more kind of traversal elements.
Yeah.
Spoilery. So far I've unlocked 2. The
double
first
jump?
one, no double
Has
jump
to
yet.
be? No double jump.
No double.
What?
Oh,
Oh man.
oh boy.
They tease you with that because
They always-
yeah, they do.
They always tease you with the double jump, and
That's
they always
inaccessible.
yeah.
Wonder what's up in the sky.
You know, if only I could jump a little higher, I would
There's
get
always
there.
a platform that's just a smidge too high for you.
Yeah.
I so far I have gotten an air dash. So you can you jump
So
up
is
in the
that
air
what I
then-
need to get into those little narrow passages that aren't right on the ground? Because I've seen like 6 of those right now so far.
I've seen a couple of those
'cause-
too. I don't know.
No,
how
because
they
you
get in
don't
there.
your profile your profile doesn't shrink as you air dash.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do
So
that.
but I'll tell you what, the air dash is great for climbing vertical surfaces because you can how you can cling to the wall for a second.
Yeah.
You jump, you cling to the wall, and you jump off, and then you air dash back over to the wall.
Oh yeah.
And then you jump off and air dash and jump and air dash and you get
nice.
right up to the top.
Okay.
Nido Mosquito.
And I just got the second little traversal power up, which is it's an interesting one, and I'm sure there's been an equivalent in some game that I'm not remembering right now, but it's not one you see terribly often as far as I can remember anyway. You hit I think it's the L1 button, and you create a little kind of shadow clone of yourself that stays in place. And then you can go running around, and then whenever you want, you can tap the L1 button again, and you will just instantly warp back to where you dropped your shadow.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And the way that they have been using this, just because I just got this power up a little bit before we started recording, the way that they have been using it is like there's an elevator that goes up and down, like a little narrow corridor with an elevator, and you pull a lever and the elevator comes down. But you're underneath it. You can't get on top of the elevator to get up to where you're going. So what you do is you vertical climb up the elevator shaft. You drop a little shadow there, and then you fall back down and you pull the switch to bring the elevator down. And once the elevator has come down below where you left your shadow, then you warp back up to the shadow, and now you're on top of the elevator.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a clever little mechanic.
I see.
And there's already been a few instances where I've had to use it to solve some little puzzles. And I'm really digging it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've opened up a presumably a ton of the map, although I'm sure there's still plenty to go. Because
have you been using that feature where you can save a screenshot on the map?
You know what? I need to start doing that.
You never think of it?
But
never think of it.
Yeah, that's the problem. As I need to start really
because you have like 15 slots to be able to do that. You can do like 15 different
and you unlock more.
Oh, and you unlock
as you go. You can.
Yeah, I just unlocked my second group of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can start building and stacking those. So yeah, I do need to because there are definitely kind of dead ends scattered around my map where I was in the room and was like, oh, I need some power to get there. But yeah, it's a great feature, like you were talking about last week, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because it is kind of a new, improvement on this type of game. I'm just not acclimated to using it yet. So
thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to start doing that more.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
overall, I really like it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, all the people complaining about how it's not like a $30 game or whatever, it looks really good. It feels like a substantial enough game that, I don't feel ripped off by it.
See, I don't agree.
Really?
No.
Well, here's
after everything that I said last week, as I'm playing it, I'm just like, God, this looks like a budget game.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. I don't
disagree with that.
Don't like.
You're also not terribly far into it, so
yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
but no, it does not. It does not feel like a budget game to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2D.
Yeah, that's not at all what I mean. But yeah.
But no, it feels like a really solid game. I'm very happy with it so far.
Yeah. And I don't mind supporting it in that it's from Ubisoft, who has more or less only focused
feisty indie
on
developer Ubisoft.
only focused on doing these big AAA games, right? High budget games. And whether they make their money back or not, it's, after so many expansions and microtransactions, etc. And to see them do what, for now anyway, although I believe is there like another chapter they're doing to this game? Maybe not. I don't know. But to see them do like something smaller in scope, that's not going to have a ton of like micro transactions or season passes, probably. I like that. I like that they've kind of put all of their art resources, who knows how many of them are AI generated. Apparently one voice in the game is AI generated.
Oh, really?
Run into that.
I wish I did.
In this game?
In this game, yes.
What
apparently
character?
It's something to do with the Whack Whack tree.
There is one character that's connected to the Whack Whack tree.
I'm not exactly sure, but apparently the voice is very, very obvious if you watch a lot of Twitch. They do announcements of donations and stuff.
It's if it's the character I'm thinking of, I didn't recognize it based on that, but the inflection is just odd in the voice sometimes, so it wouldn't surprise me if the character I'm thinking of is the one you're talking about.
But apparently it was a mistake, and they were supposed to have actually cast somebody that was a like placeholder.
And that, kids, is why we always used to use lorem ipsum as placeholder text.
Wait a second.
That's right.
Aha! I just looked it up.
This. Yeah.
No, I just looked it up because I don't think, Greg,
I'm not thinking of the right one.
No.
Okay.
There is a character. Okay, the character is apparently named Calyx.
Uh-huh.
And it's a little, flaming eyeball. And
no, that's not the character I was thinking of then. So whoever voices that character is just weird.
No, because I encountered this character today because you meet this it's a little flaming eyeball who will follow you around because you enter like kind of a darkened dungeon area.
Oh.
And this thing kind of hovers behind you, sort of acting as a flashlight. And I remember when you first meet this character and it starts talking to you, I was like, boy, this voice actor is not as good as everyone else in the game. and I felt a little bad. I was like, oh man, I wonder who,
apparently it's just an oversight that they didn't cast it. So
yeah, I mean, you need to make it obvious that it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do in a game like this.
The game is going to be patched, yeah.
Because it did sound because it sounds like it sounds almost like a little kid kind of voice. And I was just like, yeah, whoever's doing the voice for this is not not that good. And
Right.
it's weird because the voice acting has been really solid in this game.
Yeah, it is.
But now that I hear that, that makes sense. Okay.
So it'll be patched later.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that's what I've been playing. Other than the Walkabout mini golf in VR, continuing to play that. They released a Around the World in 80 Days course for Walkabout mini golf, which is absolutely fantastic. Played that with a bunch of people from the P1P Discord this past weekend. That was very, very fun.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Based on the classic Jackie Chan movie?
No. Although I think
Walt
it is
Disney...
more based on the movie because it takes place at the Eiffel Tower, which apparently, like the book doesn't only take place there or something.
Well, it's hard to go around the world when you're just hanging out at the Eiffel Tower.
Just hanging out at the Eiffel Tower. But yeah, it was super fun. Anyway,
good.
That's all I've been playing. So, Greg, what do you got for us?
I mean, mostly what time I could find this week was playing Prince of Persia, and playing some more Alan Wake. Now I need to start alternating between the two of them, because I made some good progress in Alan Wake, but we've talked about Alan Wake a lot, so I'm probably gonna skip that for now. I will say also, I meant to mention this at the top of the show. I finished watching Twisted Metal.
Oh, good.
Oh, and man, that series has no business being as good as it is. Like, it just because I mean, I was enjoying it for the first couple. Like last week we talked about, I just watched episode 2 and it's like, this is fun, this is great,
right?
This is awesome. I mean, that is a good series.
It's a fun show.
Do not skip that series. I mean, it's just a great stupid Mad Max show, and I love it. It's so good. Even if you're not familiar with the games, because like my buddy Jim and I were talking about it, and he wasn't a big Twisted Metal fan, and neither was I. I knew enough of it, being sort of exposed to it over the years, that I recognized some of the references. But it's like, I kind of wish that I knew the series better, or knew the game series better, so I could recognize the references a little bit more. But it's like, you don't need to,
right.
No, just fantastic.
Boy, like, every character in that show is from the games.
Yeah.
Like,
even the sort of the secondary characters.
Yeah.
They
like the goofy comic relief guys.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
so that was it. We put on a video. It's like, oh, every Easter egg. Let's watch this. It was like 20-minute video. And I'm watching it. It's like, oh my God, those were characters from the games? Like, those two idiots?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
And I really dug Twisted Metal back in the day. I mean, the first two. I loved the first one. Really loved Twisted Metal 2. And then
Twisted Metal 2 was kind of like the high watermark until Black came out, right?
Yes. And then
3 and 4 were 989 Studios. So
yeah, and they were not good.
Yeah.
But then Black brought it back.
In Black.
At the episode with the convoy, city, which I loved that premise.
Oh, absolutely.
The rolling city in trucks. At the end when she like pulls off the tarp and she's got like the Indy race car, and I was just like, oh, it's the car from the game.
Yeah.
I was so excited. So excited.
It was just really well written, really well acted. It's like everyone's in on the joke. Yeah. It's just, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. As I was getting through it, it's like, because I don't binge watch shows very often anymore. And I just didn't want to stop watching it. I was like, just one more episode. Just one more episode. Well, and then when it was getting near the end, I was like, oh, I wish there was more. But the
nice
big arena fight was a nice payoff too.
Oh, yeah. The big climax, the big climactic battle, and then the setup for another season.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. And what's great about it is, I mean, there's a lot great about it, but one of the things that's great about it is that the episodes, they're like half an hour.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be like, oh, we got to be prestige TV where our episodes have to be 65 minutes each. It's just quick, boom, boom, half an hour episodes. Get in, get out, So they make it very easy to kind of binge watch it because it's not a huge time investment.
And I mean, the other thing about it too is that it's they very clearly didn't spend a ton of money on sets.
Right.
You know, it's very much like location scouting did most of the work.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And some of the CG for the car is a little wonky.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt it. But that was the thing. It's like I didn't care. Like if you really want to sit, like if you look at the arena fight as a perfect example, if you really want to pick it apart, it's like, well, all they did was just park a bunch of junkers in a parking lot.
Oh yeah.
They didn't really do anything with the set at all.
Right.
But I don't care because it's so much fun. And I'm just enjoying the experience, right? So yeah. No, really good stuff.
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It's a fun show.
It's
a fun show.
That was really it. Like I said, Prince of Persia and Alan Wake are kind of my two games at the moment. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Kind of a bit of a whiplash there between those two.
Yeah, a little bit. Whoever decided to put in all those full screen jump scares in Alan Wake 2 can keep it up because they're good at their job, but I hate them.
You're saying you would be happy to know that they were one of the developers laid off in 2023?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Right. I need to play more Alan Wake 2 also. Yeah. Phil.
What
have you been playing, sir? Anything more than Prince of
Persia?
That's it?
Prince of Persia. That's really about it.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry, I played a game I wanted to play.
You don't have to be sorry.
I'll be better next time.
Sorry.
Well, I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Now. Come on, tweets. We're gonna tweet your tweet. I got some big old stinky hairy feet. Gonna tweet away. Deet. We're gonna tweet all down the street.
Thank you for that extended dance mix of the tweet song. Let's do this one from hacker alias GoCast Scott, who says Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown took the series back to its 2D roots. We've seen a lot of series go from 2D to 3D over the years. What are some games that you'd like to see get the 2D treatment, whether that be for the first time or back to what they used to be?
Zelda.
Zelda. Yeah, that's a good one, I think.
The Legend of. In case it wasn't clear.
It wasn't.
Okay. Well, then I'm glad I clarified.
Okay. Anything else?
What do you want? What more do you want from me? I just dropped a hot take.
You did.
What else do you want?
We need a Zelda 2 remake. That's what he's saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
I'm just saying.
Like Final Fantasy.
You know, they should probably get Mario back to 2D.
They did that.
I think people really like that.
They did that.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
What?
There's a game you should play.
New Super Mario Brothers?
New Super Mario Brothers 2.
I took the joke. Killed the punchline.
There you go. There it is.
I see.
I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that needs to
Jumping Flash 2D.
Are we saying it needs to go back to 2D roots? That's what the question is?
Or no, just get the two-dimensional treatment. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a game that was originally in 2D. So it could be the
Gran Turismo.
Or it couldn't be.
A top-down Gran Turismo.
Yuck.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Like that. You'd play it.
Actually.
Yeah, I would, but I wouldn't enjoy it.
Wow.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Nothing?
No?
You wouldn't want to see like a Last of Us 2D survival game or something
Not
like
really.
that? No. I see. What about Castlevania trying 3D again? I guess they did that already.
Yeah, the first one, Lords of Shadow, that was really good.
Yeah.
Lords of Shadow 2 was terrible, but Lords of Shadow 1 was really good.
Well, that wasn't
Yeah.
the first 3D Castlevania.
No, there was Castlevania 64.
The first good one. How about that? The first good 3D Castlevania
I didn't know we were.
was Lords of Shadow, but then
No,
they made
no.
Lords of Shadow 2 and ruined it. Yeah, no, I sure, yeah. I love another 2D Contra. We're getting one, aren't we?
We are getting one.
Yeah.
That Operation Galuga,
Yeah.
whatever
I
that
believe
would
it's
be fun.
pronounced Galaga.
Love another 2D
Galaga.
Sonic, because the last one I already forgot about.
Superstars?
Yeah. I played that for like all of 30 minutes.
Well, then Mario Wonder came out, and so did Alan Wake 2.
And I played
and
Mario
so did
Wonder for all of 20 minutes.
every
And,
other game came out within that 2-week period.
All the 2D games Greg wants are games that
you know
actually
what we
exist.
need?
He just
You
hasn't
know what
played
needs
yet.
to happen again? We need another
Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin. It's time.
In 2D.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't even care. 2D, 3D doesn't matter. Just saying. I'm just changing the
That'd
question.
Be good. That'd be good. Yeah. I played Streets of Rage 4 this weekend with
Oh,
your good
it's a
buddy
good
Mike.
game.
That's a good game.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good
It's a
game.
very good game.
Yeah.
That's in 2D.
You know what kind of game that is?
What's that?
It's a beat 'em up.
A
Yeah.
beat 'em
Beat
up.
'em up. Yeah.
I'm not
'em
terribly
ups?
good at beat 'em ups. I don't know.
Is that right?
Beat them up.
I don't love beat 'em ups, but Streets of Rage 4 is quite fun.
It's a good game.
playing that. Yeah, it is a good game.
Maybe
It
you
is.
should give beat 'em ups a chance.
Maybe I should, Phil.
Maybe you need
I
to
should.
scroll your belts
Maybe
a
it's
little.
time for a new Final Fight.
Maybe it's time for a new Sengoku from SNK. What's SNK doing?
You know what? Maybe it's
What?
time for a new Clax.
It is the 20s.
It's the 20s. And
The Roaring
maybe there's
20s?
time again. Yeah.
Roaring 20s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do this one from hacker alias Helvid. I'm not even going to say it.
You got it. You got it.
Listener
You can do
Thomas.
this. Come on.
I'm not. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If Nintendo decides to get into the VR game for real and not just with the Labo, how do you expect them to approach it from a comfort perspective? After all, they had a bit of a dud with a certain red tinted 3D headset.
Helvetia Shinden.
Helvetia Shinden. There we
There
go.
we go.
You got it.
Took me one try.
Took me 5,000 tries. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question is how what do you mean by the VR game for real? Like, are we talking about like
a real headset?
A real headset?
Yeah.
I don't ever see Nintendo doing that.
The Virtual Boy, I don't consider a headset, honestly.
Well, it wasn't a headset.
And it wasn't really VR, and it was 3D.
It was 3D.
gaming. Yeah.
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 It was as VR as the 3DS was.
Correct.
I mean,
But they did
it's
VR with
projecting 3D.
They did VR with Labo, and you could play Breath of the Wild in VR, for instance. I personally, I think Nintendo will go back to VR at some point outside of Labo.
Oh, Greg took
And-
offense.
I guess he did. Wow.
Oh,
Did you
no,
hit
he's
a
back.
button?
I didn't hit
I
anything.
didn't. I didn't touch the thing.
I didn't touch.
I
the thing
didn't either. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I hope the recording worked.
It did.
I feel like if they go back to VR, yeah, it won't be just the Labo thing, but I could see them doing something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
For me, I think Nintendo always has to have another pillar, right? Like they always have to have like some other.
yeah, do you think
Yeah,
VR
might
will be it?
I honestly kind of think it might be. I don't know.
I mean, the
it all
form factor of
depends
the
on
Switch
what they
makes it
can bring
easy
to
to
it.
do. Yeah.
It all depends on what they can bring to it. If there's some
Yeah.
cool gimmick they can bring to VR, then we'll see a Nintendo VR thing.
That's it. I think the gimmick will be that it's something you can do with your Switch.
Potentially.
I don't think
Yeah.
it'll be its own thing.
Yeah, maybe
If they do it
so.
at all. Like I think
So.
I feel like I always felt like that Labo was sort of just testing the waters. And I
Yeah.
think it worked pretty well. I think you'd have to build experiences around it, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, the fact that their console is by its design portable.
But I think Helvete Schunden, what they're saying is
good job.
Thank you. Great point about comfort being a big question in VR. Like I feel like you can get off the shelf VR headsets, like even the Quest, and the default strap is not terribly comfortable. Like you really do kind of have to get a third party strap for it to be comfortable to wear for any length of time. And I feel like we're seeing impressions of the Apple Vision Pro, which is a different kind of VR thing, but people are saying that it is heavy on your head.
See, that,
for
I
a
don't
long
think the
period
Switch
of
would
time.
be. That's the thing. Like the Switch is pretty light.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if they go that route.
I could
think
see
it'll
them
be
doing.
interesting
Yeah,
seeing
I could
it.
see them doing like something that pops to mind right away is something along the lines of like Advance Wars, where the VR would literally be that the icons are 3D objects that are sitting on a virtual table or something like that. Like,
kind of like
I
a
could
mixed
see that
reality
being
thing.
that level of
I mean, Nintendo has also played with mixed reality stuff in the
Right.
past with the 3DS.
And I'm not saying it'd necessarily be mixed reality. That could be still a totally in-world thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I think it would be at that level.
Okay.
Like whatever the like, I'm thinking back to how with Android phones where you could always there was that little while there where you could buy the headsets that you would just snap the phone into.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Like that's the level I'm thinking that if Nintendo was going to do it at all, that's what it would be.
I
That's
never
just my
tried
guess.
any of that stuff, and
was
I don't know
okay.
if it was any good.
It was okay.
I certainly prefer the Quest 3 over something like that.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't think it would be competing with that. I don't think it'd be competing at that level.
Okay. Well, maybe. I think that's where we should stop.
Oh,
That's it. I think that's a show.
well, okay then.
Some would call it a show.
What?
Some would call it a show.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. It's a show, confirmed. If you have any questions or comments you would like to direct at us, please direct them to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, the X's, the Threads, all of those things. And we also have an internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward. You'll find Generation 16 episodes as they happen. You'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and you will find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Just tune into one of our many social media outlets to discover when our next live show. Typically, it is the Sunday evenings at 5:30 Pacific time. So join us, won't you? And if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. We are going to hire someone to come and keep Greg's tree lit all year long. Electricity costs money.
I just don't plug it in.
And if Greg, well, then how festive is that?
It's not supposed to be festive. It's furniture now. It's January 21st.
That's your to-do
Not
pile.
about festive.
Bring in the mail and put it on the tree.
Yeah.
That's it's an elaborate bill.
That's working
holder.
smarter.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Your Patreon dollars, of course, help support our show, keep us streaming and all that stuff. You know how it works. Tell you what, though, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
cheap,
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this, where we, play games, we crack wise, We have fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show.
Yeah.
CJ?
Yeah.
Do we have a game for this week?
We do have a game.
Oh,
Yes.
that's too bad.
Lucky us.
Wait, you said yes?
I said yes. Yeah.
Oh, I misheard.
We have one. It's
We do,
about
okay.
the games that we awarded our game of the year that we sort of honored in our list.
I don't even remember last year.
Well,
Is this a
we're gonna do
listener?
very well on this quiz then.
Is this a
Is it from
listener
Mike?
supplied quiz?
It is indeed
This was given
from
to us by
listener Luciano.
Oh,
Excellent.
not Mike.
Not
Wow.
Mike. No.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But this is about games we've mentioned in our previous Game of the Year shows.
just the 2023 show. Just the game of the year
Oh,
2023
okay.
show.
Thank
So
God.
the one from like a couple weeks ago?
That's right.
There's
Oh, I'm
chance
not
we
gonna remember
like
any of that.
10% of that.
I know.
I liked Hi-Fi Rush. I don't remember anything else.
Do you
I hope
remember
other-
anything about that game though? Because
Hi-Fi
that's
Rush?
probably what
There's a
what
cat in it, I want to say.
Do you remember the cat's name? Because that'll probably be one of the questions.
The cat's name was Meowmers the musical cat.
I don't think so. Nope. I know that's wrong.
You don't know that. You didn't play this game.
I played it. Yes,
Okay.
A year ago, I played the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So
we'll
be
see
doing
how that works out. But no, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great. But I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/Sewart to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the 64-color powerhouse, the Sega Genesis.
Doesn't matter how many colors you got if you know how to use them.
64 simultaneous colors, I should say.
That's right.
How many? I don't remember the available palette.
512.
Was it just 512?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, just 512. Those are the colors you needed.
you know how many millions of colors there are out there, man?
Nope. There's only 512 of them.
I can name maybe a dozen colors.
Exactly. See? What do you need millions of colors for? You can't even name 12.
I'll tell you what, Greg. In this household, you only need 3 colors. Red, white, and blue, baby.
Wow. That was probably very offensive to a lot of people. The salute, I mean. Thank you anyway. And if you are
You're welcome.
a patron supporter of the $5 variety,
That's also cheap.
there he is. I was afraid you weren't going to show up this week.
Oh, of course I'm here. Always ready to plug your show.
Did you hear that Ubisoft ripped off your game Hades?
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not
And they
happy
used,
about it.
and they used AI for one of the voices.
How disgusting is that, by the way?
Right.
Fake voices,
Yeah.
using computer technology to
Yeah.
make someone's like voice.
Yeah.
I know you're very pro artist, pro union. So
I am
What
very
episode
much.
was that the Dormerbot showed up on?
It was episode 666.
We
Only
already did
episode.
that. We pioneered this.
There was
Pioneered.
one good episode of the Player One
I
podcast.
hear this. Anyway, yes, if you're a supporter of the $5 variety, you get access to the Weekly Commute, which is a vlog series that I do mostly weekly, talking about all the different videos I'm working on, among other things. But yeah, this week it was mostly about the videos I'm working on and how long everything's taking. But hey,
Mm.
it's still interesting. And I
Good.
really appreciate your support. Those Adobe licenses don't pay for themselves.
There you go.
So please consider supporting the show.
It would be a really weird business model if they did.
It'd be nice.
I just don't see how that would make.
I wish it was possible to pay for a lifetime license.
That's not how that works.
The good old days.
I know, right? When you could actually buy something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they probably heard from Ubisoft that you don't own what you buy. So you better finish Prince of Persia before they take it away from you. Is what I'm saying.
I have to
remember to rewind before you return it.
Did your family own a VHS rewinder?
I owned one. We didn't have one when I was a kid, but I did. It was one of those things that when they got cheap enough, it ended up being like it's a little bit big for a stocking stuffer. But I think when I moved out, my parents gave me one as some sort of small throwaway kind of Christmas gift. I don't think I ever used it.
I got one when I moved out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never owned a VHS rewinder.
It's a luxury.
There's a thing that I would
tell you.
I don't even think I could describe that to my kids where they would be able to visualize what it is.
I know.
What a weird thing that just doesn't.
Well, and they had ones that were different shapes, and like you get one that looked like a
car.
Yeah. That was the most common one.
Yeah, that was the popular one.
Mine was just plain. Mine was plain black.
Yeah,
Christmas,
mine was
got you a brand new Ferrari.
Like smoky transparent panel that you just slid the thing into and snapped it down and rewound.
Yeah.
Oh,
when it finished, it popped out.
Yeah. Shot across the room.
When I was a kid, here's a little side story. This is file this under Phil Gaiden.
Oh,
Beck, don't roll your eyes at me.
It's Phil Gaiden.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Roll away that I was clearly in the wrong. We got our first VCR, the Theobald family, back in 1984. It was 1984 was when we got our first VCR. I was 9. I was 9 years old. I was in 4th grade. I was 9 years old. We got a VCR, and I remember the first time we recorded some some movies on a VHS tape. And I was under the impression, because when my parents were like, okay, we filled up this tape, we got some movies on here. And I was like, well, can't we just flip it over and record on side B?
Like a cassette tape, like an audio cassette tape.
Because that was my assumption. I was like, cassette tapes work on both sides. You flip it over, VHS side B. And they were like, no, you idiot.
I think a lot of people don't remember that when the VCR first came out, it was like a $1,500 purchase.
Oh yeah.
It was still $200 or $300 by the mid 80s, which if you adjust for inflation, was pretty friggin' expensive.
Oh yeah.
Getting a VCR was a big deal.
I don't remember how much my parents paid for our first VCR, but I do remember it was definitely a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
not everyone had one.
Oh no. We were among the few of my friends who had one. And the local electronics shop we bought it from, as an incentive, we also got like a year's membership at a local family-owned video store.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I miss those days. It's the same with the arcades, when you could walk into like a pizzeria and there'd be like, I don't mean like a Chuck E. Cheese, but just like a Pizza Hut.
Right.
There'd be like an arcade machine at the front.
Yeah.
I don't think people know or remember that like corner stores were renting movies, like and Nintendo games.
Oh yeah.
We had a corner store right down our street that they always had a small shelf. It was like 5 games, 10 movies that would constantly rotate out. And it was a thing.
Yeah, you'd go into a grocery store or a pharmacy and they'd have a little, not like a whole section, but yeah, maybe a couple shelves with like a dozen or so like popular movies you could rent.
Yeah.
Batman 89.
Batman 89.
Yeah. You bet.
E.T.
My mom's favorite movie. E.T.
Is that it?
Where were we?
I was done my little spiel.
Yeah, we plugged Generation 16. So CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
That's where we were at. I was about to thank you, CJ.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you.
And then you know what I was about to do next?
What?
I was about to say, Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as also well.
Thank you, Philip.
Hey, you got it, dude. And a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. Every single darn one of you. Greg's pointing at you. Well, not right now, but now he is. So CJ is also pointing at you. I'm not, because it is impolite to point. But thank you very much for tuning in. As always, take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself.
Be kind, rewind.
And that's the kindest kind of kind that there is the kind what doth rewind. And we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.